Vlog time, people. I'm back on the Pride of Derby. It's Sunday night. It's about I think it's about 9:15, and the conditions are absolutely perfect. I'm not in the same peg that I was in last time. I've come down in this bottom corner at the shallow end, and I'm right in this bottom corner peg. Loads of room. Car park's just over there as well. But I'm on fish. I've got fish showing, moving about down here. What I've done is I've got one rod that's out 80 yards, my right hand rod, in line with, where are we? That middle tree there. I'm just on the bar there, and I've put about 7 spoms out, and I've only put one rod on there. I've got a little dumbbell on it, and I've spread the spoms out a little bit, just for a bit of particle mix. And then I've spread about 2 handfuls of boilies around the area, around the outside of it. And then the other 2 rods, I found about 12 foot of water, 13 foot of water, basically where it's deep out here, 20 foot. And then it comes up, you got like 19 out here. And then you get to about here and it's about 13, 12, 13 here. And then you come up and it starts coming up shallower and shallower. So I've gone sort of like halfway, I suppose, in the depths. Then I've put no particle out at all. I've put 2 boilie rigs out. One's got 10mm on it, 10mm crave bottom bait, and a 10mm Nash nut crush boilie on. That's fish KD style. And the other one has got double boilie on it. I've got a 15mm crave and a 15mm pop up, and that's just sat like that on the bottom wafting. Look at that out there. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. It's just slicking up like mad where I've put bait in. It has been doing for about the last hour and a half. I got all my rods finally in about 2 hours ago, and ever since I've put them in and got a bit of bait in, I put, what did I put in? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put 4 spods in, boilies. Put 2 over the middle rod and 2 over the end rod. And there's a mixture in there of 10mm in crave, 15mm craves and 15mm squid and spice, and then there's the odd tuna boilie in there, still kicking about in the mix. And then what I've done is spread about 3 or 4 handfuls all the way around the outside. And since I've done it, there's fish out there all over. It's slicking up. Every now and again there's definitely movement. I've seen fish up on the top. I've seen fish spooking other fish. But it's slicking up like mad out there over the left hand rod. It is, I can see it. So yeah, they're at 9.5 rats. They are, like I say, in about 12, 13 foot of water. I've still got the option of going down this margin, but I thought that's what I'd do. Keep that rod on the bar, and keep them 2 there. I mean, I shan't put any more bait in tomorrow. I should just fish it out till about Wednesday, and then just see what happens. I'm not going to recast that in the morning. I shall wait till tomorrow afternoon. Well, at the end of the day, I'm not going to say for definite because I'll have to see what's happening first. But I'm going to sign off for now. But it's looking well nice. Sign off for now because I want to get a can of beer and get settled and watch the water before it gets dark, and get sorted out inside the bivvy properly. But yeah, back on the bang, buzzing. Looks really good. I'm really confident as well. I've just got a feeling that I'm going to get one tonight. I have. The amount of fish what I've seen out there, I don't know whether the carp or whether the tench, I don't know. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there's slicking out here as well. Yeah. But anyway, it's getting low light now. So I'm going to sign off for now, and then I'll see you in the morning, people. Unless I have a fish in the night. Fingers crossed that I do. So I'll see you in a bit. Adios. Morning, people. Vlog time. I hope the camera's picking me up. Should be. This little camera I've got is normally pretty good in low light. It's about 5:15, 5:30 in the morning. My alarm was set for 4:30, but I was awake before the alarm. I've woke up a few times actually through the night, off and on, but it was an ever so warm night. It looks absolutely perfect for a bite. I don't know if you can see out there, there's a nice bit of wind. It's warm, it's overcast. I heard one last night. It must have been about, I think it was about 11 o'clock last night. No, about 10:30. I heard one last night, and it sounded like it was on the bar over there, near where I'm fishing. That's what it sounded like anyway. I could be wrong, because it's a bit misleading sometimes at night when you can't see. But it definitely sounded like it was coming from on the bar where I've got that one rod. So like I say, I've only got one rod on that bar, and then the other two rods down here, it's just been slicking up through the night, and it's slicking up this morning as well. So there's definitely fish about. This wind look is perfect. It is absolutely perfect. And it's slicking up again down there, look. It's slicking up like crazy. Definitely fish down there. Don't know whether or not it's tench or bream and not carp, I don't know, but it's slicking up like mad. Yeah, so I'm back down here again. Got here yesterday Sunday, and I should be here till Friday morning. Like I said, I've come in a different peg. The reason I've come in here is because I could see a bit of movement out there. And it just looked right and felt right, and it looks like I've done the right thing, because there's definitely fish about down here. So yeah, we're just gonna have to see how it goes. I've managed to get some new line. Got some Gardener Pro light blend, and so far so good. I've re-spooled it on all three reels, and it casts like an absolute dream. I mean, I cast that out to the bar 80 yards easily, and I mean easily. I thought that GTHD was good for casting, but this just knocks that GTHD out of the park. It's unreal. And it's only $12.50 a spool, and I think you get 1,030 yards. But yeah, so far so good, and it sinks better than GTHD as well. That was one thing that I never used to like about GTHD. It used to take ages to sink. It weren't very good at sinking, but this sinks quicker. It's a lot better. So yeah, really pleased with it. I've just got to see what it's like if I go and fish, what it's like over the bars and that. But there's a lot of similarities to the GTHD actually, the way the line feels and everything. So yeah, pleased with that. I need to tie some more rigs up this morning. At the minute I've got one rig out on the one on the bar that's about 5 inches long, 4 or 5 inches long, and that's on a German rig. I had some German rigs tied up in some snake skin, so I put one of them out on the bar, because of the colour and everything. It just suits that really. And then down here in front of me I've got one on a KD rig with a 10mm Craven, a 10mm pop up, and then the other one is on a like a blowback type rig, like the Parrot rig, one that I normally use, with double 15mm boilers, one Crave bottom bait, one 15mm pop up. So, and then just see how it goes. I don't think I'm going to put any more bait out today. I should just recast out. I think I might put one more spom each over my rods here, boilies, when I put them out, because like I say, there's been fish out there that's been slicking up like crazy all night, and it still is now, in different spots now and again. So there's definitely fish coming over the baits, and I can see movement of fish down here every now and again. I've seen fish under the surface, but I'm not 100% sure what they are yet. But it's looking good anyway, people. It's looking very good. So I'm going to sign off, have me a cup of coffee, and I'll catch you in a bit, people. Adios. Alright, people, just a little bit of an update. Still getting slicking up out there. I've had no liners, no occurrences. Only occurrences I've had is off of these bloody ducks. They're in and out underneath my rods like bloody wano. Most of the time they know where my lines are, so they're not too bad. It's the swan that come in earlier on and bloody, I thought it was going to wipe all three rods out, but luckily enough it didn't. It just knocked the bobbin off of the line. So if I get any more problems with the swans coming down, I'm going to have to put some back leads under the rod tips, just to guarantee that the swans ain't going to pick the lines up. But I don't really like using back leads if I can avoid them. I don't like using them at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, in certain circumstances you've got to use them, but I don't just use them for the sake of it. I try and avoid them if I can. Because the trouble is with we having a back lead down there, when you hook into a fish, it can be a bit awkward sometimes, and it can cause you to lose a fish. So, I mean, I do use them where I have to, but they're the same birds as well. When I was in that other peg, they're like a bunch of them that stick together all the time. I can tell it's the same birds because I've photographed them before. Same dogs. This dog here is conked out again, and because of where we are in the bivvy, I don't know if it's picking it up. We're on a slight slant, so I've got the bed up that way this time instead of going crossways, and she keeps going right down this bottom end, and she's going to tip it. She tipped it yesterday, and I keep telling her to go back up here, but every time my back's turned she keeps sliding it further down there, and it's going to end up tipping again. I don't know, she'll learn when it tips. Probably not though, she'll probably go back on it again knowing her. Yeah, what I was going to say was, last time when I was here, I lost my Nash Dot Spom. And like I say, I ended up using the spom, mini spom what I had, which I don't like. I went into carp scene at Alfreton. And they didn't have any Nash Dot Spoms. A bloke had been in and bought 4. So I bought the Fox Spom. What do I reckon to it? I like the way it looks. I mean, the design on it's absolutely brilliant. And I tell you what I do like, I love the way it opens. It's got a really strong pin. The lad in the shop was saying they've got new pins in them now, they're larger than what was in before. They seem really strong. But the inside of it I really like. You can get a lot more Well, it seems like you can get a lot more in there. I just like the way that the bait sits in there. I prefer the way the bait sits in there to the Nash dot spom. Casting wise, it casts an absolute treat. It just flies out there, just like the Nash dot spom. Really, it's really accurate. Nothing between the way casting them, I would say, between one of these and the Nash dot spom. Only thing that you do find is on the way in occasionally, it's sort of like as it's open like that, it does tend to do that in the water. But I think what it is when it gets caught behind that, when the braid gets caught. But apart from that, I quite like it. It seems it's a little bit harder work reeling this in than the Nash dot spom, but at the end of the day, I don't mind it. So out of everything you can get, the Nash dot spom and that, I find the best. To be honest with you. And just in case anybody's wondering, I use Berkeley Whiplash in £30. I have green on my marker rod, and I have yellow on my spod rod, and then I have armour cord leader, £50 armour cord leader. I've got £30 braid on both, and then a £50 armour cord leader. Normally I put about 2.5 rod lengths, 3 rod lengths on that usually. And don't get me wrong, it's good stuff, but the only trouble with it is mind you, all braids are the same, don't matter what braid you use. It's just a nightmare when you're going around your sticks sometimes, or you lift your rod off your sticks and you reel in your line and it's really windy, and you end up with it blowing wind knots in the bloody braid. It's a nightmare. So I try and keep it as wet as I can all the time. It helps stop that from happening. The amount of times I have it happen where you're going around the sticks or whatever with it and the wind catches it, it's bloody nightmare stuff. But at the end of the day, out of all the braids that you can get, I find that Berkeley Whiplash just flies out there. I've heard that Dio tournament's good, but I'm not paying that price for it. I mean, I pay about 30 quid for them from Angling Direct. The last lot, I'm only on my second lot, and I only started carp fishing about 4 years ago. 4.5 years ago. The first lot lasted, and that's new on. I think I put that on in like November or something, so I should get a couple of years out of it really, as long as I look after it. But yeah, it's just starting to get warm now. It is, it's about 11 o'clock. No, I'm just really confident. I mean, I've had no end of slicks. There's definitely been fish out here moving about on the baits, definitely. It isn't just that the baits are buried or anything in the silt. You can definitely tell there's big patches coming up, you know, where they're feeding on the buoys out there. But what it is feeding, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's carp or if it's tenshore bream, I'm not sure. But there's a lot of fry down here. I notice there's loads of perch fry in the water down here. Loads of them. Whereas when I was in that other pack, I didn't see any fry at all. So it seems a lot more fry down here, which could be a good thing, because the carp could be feeding on the fry. But it's pretty clean out there anyway. I've got bits of weed a bit closer in, but nothing too drastic to worry about. So I shouldn't have any problems getting a fish in when I get it. So yeah. But like I say, yeah, if anybody's thinking about getting a new spod or whatever, and they normally use a spom, if they're wanting something that's I think's better, pick one of these up. One of these or the Nash dot spom. That's all I shall use from now. I mean, I've got one of these, I shall pick a Nash dot spom up, and then I've got a spom spare, a mini spom, and then that big spom what I found last time, but they're just there for backup. If I've got one of them and one of them Nash dot spoms, I shouldn't need to bother with another one for a few years. I mean, I've had that Nash dot spom about 1.5 years, something like that. So but I really like the design of it. I think it looks cool as well, the colours on it. Just really like the design on it. I think they're about 13 quid, I think it was. About the same price as the dot spom. So, God, it's warming up now, it is. Right, I'm going to sign off for now because I'm going to make myself a brew. And then at lunchtime, I'm going to take the rods out, get them back around the sticks, ready, and I'm going to rest the swim for a couple of hours. And then get my rods back in. I don't think I'm going to put any more bait out. I think there's enough out there. So I'm just going to cast them out. See what happens, I think. So tempting to put a bit more bait out, but I don't think I need it, so. Slicking up again out there. Slicking up again. There's definitely fish on my baits out there, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. There was last night and there is till this morning. I don't know, I've just got a funny feeling that it's bream or tench. I don't know, we'll have to see. But it's a good sign, I bet you can see it now, the slick. There, look, the slick's coming up like that. Because I put a couple of spoms here, boilers, and a couple of spoms here at boilers. And that's where they're slicking. And then every now and again you're getting odd other slicks, and that's from where I put the loose boilers in. So that is slicking up like mad now, that is. That's massive, that patch is now. I've got a funny feeling I'm going to get something in the next hour or so before I take the rods out. They're still slicking like that at 11 o'clock, half 11. I'll be tempted to leave them in for at least another hour and a half. We'll just have to see anyway. Right, I'm waffling on again, probably boring the arse off of you people, so I'm going to sign off and I'll catch you in a bit. In a bit then, people. don't believe it. Shut up, Sky. Sky, get in there. Get up there. Up. Go on. Oh, I don't believe it. A bloody bail alarm's gone over. It has, and it's gonna crack me off. I'm gonna switch this camera off. I'm fed up with this time. This is twice this happened in the space of a month. Oh, well, what an absolute nightmare. I can't believe it. You saw it on camera, that bloody fox. Spom's come snapped off now. It's me a lot, it's me reels. Them Shimano reels what I've got there. Whenever it's windy they're a nightmare. For some reason the bail alarm on them just springs back over mid-flight and they just spring back over. I don't know why they do it. I've always had that problem ever since I got them about what? When did I get them? About 3 years ago. And whenever it's really, really windy, they've got an habit of the alarm going, bail alarm going back over. That's what happened last time when I was here last time. So I've had to basically get another leader tied on. I got that rig out onto the gravel bar, and I decided to put some more bait over it. I've put another 7 spoms. And that's it, I'm just going to leave it now. I'm satisfied now that there's a spread of bait in that area, and I've just put a couple of handful of boilies out there as well, sod it, and just see what happens. And then you saw really, I put 2 spoms over each spot, and that was just boilers, no mix at all. And that's it now, I'm just going to sit on them. I thought rather than sitting on them today and then waiting through tomorrow, then the day after, then putting bait out again, I thought do what I did the first time and then put a couple of days worth of bait out. First time when I had that other fish, and then just leave it, because that's what I did when I had that other fish, if I can remember rightly. I fished it with singles through the daytime, and then what I did was I put a little bit of bait out that night, and then the following day I put a bit of bait out, and then that was it. I just left it then, and then it went the following morning. So I'm satisfied now that there's bait out where I want it to be, and that's it. I'm not putting no more out. I'm just so pissed off for losing another. That's another 13 quid down the drain. I mean, luckily enough I found that big white spot last time I've used that. It's gone out alright, but reeling it in, it's a nightmare. It is. So I'm going to have to get, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have to buy the money and get a couple of them Nashdock spots. So I've got a spare one as well. But if I could afford to get some different reels, I'd get some different reels to them for my spot and marker reel. They're alright when it's not windy, but as soon as it's windy or bad conditions, like I say, the bail alarm just clips back over. They're the Shimano Airleg spot and marker reels. The 7,000. Yeah, all my other Shimano reels that I've got and ever had have always been alright. I mean, I had Shimano. I was using what was I using before? Some DLs. Didn't have any problems with that. It just seems that now, as soon as there's any bad wind with these, the bail alarm's got an habit of swinging back over on them. And that's the last thing you need, because it's just going to keep costing you money all the time. It's a pain in the fucking arse. It's alright, but I've lost a spom out there now, and it's right where I'm fishing, because it's sunk. So where I'm fishing, there's a spot on the deck there, with a little bit of braid around it, so it's not ideal, is it? What else can I do? I mean, I'm fishing there now, I'm not going to start picking another spot out. It just annoys you. But this is what happens, isn't it, when you're fishing. I didn't bother filming me putting the rest out, because I thought I ain't going to film it again, and then the same thing ended up happening. And it's really aggravating. I've been bit to pieces. Fucking hands. Look at the size of my hand. All up my hands, my arms, chest, everywhere. the thing is, I forgot to bring my mozzie cream with me. So I've tried putting some after sun lotion on. It don't seem to make no difference. Seems to be making them sorer. So after I've had my tea, I'm going to get wiped down, have a wash down. I've got some Sudocrem cream in my bag. I'm going to get some of that on. Just coat all my hands and arms, and at least I'll take the stinging away. And the fishing dog, she's struggling, she is, with the heat. But the trouble is, she keeps coming back in the bivvy instead of sitting like in the doorway here, out here, where there's a breeze. She keeps going back in there, and it's actually gone warmer in the bivvy now than it is outside. Whereas it weren't too bad earlier on. Yeah, if she comes out here, the sun's gone off of this bit. But she's really struggling with it. I keep walking her about, keep giving her more water. Keep putting cold tea towels on her, but she keeps flicking them on. So, I don't know, dogs. But yeah, so just be aware if anybody's thinking about getting some of them Shimano reels, just bear that in mind. Because it's definitely a problem with him. It is, because I know it's not me. I know it's not the way I'm casting or whatever. It's the actual reels themselves. They're just going back over in mid-flight. I don't know why they're doing it. I ain't got a clue. But definitely, if I can ever afford it over the next year or so, I shall switch to the die-hour ones. Try the die-hour ones out. Because I can't keep having that happen. I mean, I haven't had it happen for a while, but then again, I haven't been fishing really over long distances and fishing in the wind a lot, I suppose, just lately. Mind you saying that, I have a few times. But then again, when I have fished in the wind and that, I've had the same problem. I've had it happen before. So when I was at Bluebell Lakes with my mate, when I first got them, I had the same problem there. They was doing it there, and I lost a marker float at Bluebell, and I lost 2 spons at Bluebell. Cost me a fortune, and honestly, I don't know what it is with them, but they just end up going back over. So anyway, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. Get a cup of tea down there, I think. I could have got them placed a bit better, but there's nothing I can do now. I'm just going to leave them. I've took a gamble by putting a bit more bait in, but I'm looking at it this way. The fish have been showing down here. That bit of bait that I have put in, it started slicking up around it already, so I think there's still fish down here. So that's it now. I've just got to not get tempted to put any more bait in. Just sit it out. Right, I'm going because my phone's ringing people. So I'm going. Hey up, mate. Yeah, it's fucking hot, man. Oh God, inside, outside. Update time, people. I don't know what to say really, but I'm going to have to go home in the morning. I've only been here a day in this heat today. It's just too much for the dog. The dog just can't take it. I mean, it's making it. She looks that bad. I nearly packed up earlier on and went home, but the trouble is, it was just too hot. I didn't want to leave her out in the open, and that's why it was like that. But she's 13 years old now, and I wouldn't even do it with a young dog. I mean, I'm alright, I can bear it, but it's no good. She's been out of breath all day. She's drunk. Nearly, she's drunk about, bloody hell, 8 litres of water today, I bet. Something like that. No, about 6 litres of water, 5 litres of water. Plus she's had another couple of kilos of water, litres of water that I've used on a wet towel, tea towel, and keep putting it over. But it's just absolutely knackering her up, look. She's there now, look at her breathing. Stomach going. Oh, going 10 to the dozen. So it can't be doing her heart any good. And the thing is, this is when it's cooled off. And I mean, I'm sat here and sweat's just pouring out of me. And this is why it's cooled off. I mean, it don't bother me. I'm used to it, but I've never ever known her to be like this in it. It's got to be her age. But she's been that zonked out all day. I was getting worried at a few stages. I'm sorry, but the dog comes first. The dog's well-being comes first before my fishing. I'm gutted because I've got to pack up in the morning and drive all the way back to Mansfield, but I've got no choice because it's supposed to be even hotter tomorrow and even hotter the day after. So if she's been like she's been today, then I'm just going to have to pack up, that's all. And go back home, get on with some work for a week, rest of the week. See what next week's like. Forecast, if it's a bit colder, then I'll come next week. It's not even worth me going on to Grimmers. It doesn't matter where I go, she's going to have the same heat. And I've got the overwrap on as well to cool the bivvy down, but she just can't get comfortable no matter where it is. It's like she can't escape from it. I mean, if it weren't for me giving her a water and a towel and that, I reckon she'd have collapsed by now. So I'm going to get up in the morning and get packed up, so we're away before it starts getting hot, 10, 11 o'clock before it gets hot. I shall get everything packed up so that my rods are in till about 11 o'clock, and then that'll be it. I'm going to have to disappear, so it's only going to be a short vlog this time, people. But what can I say? There's nothing I can do, and I mean, the wind's blowing. It does look good for a bite, actually, even though it's red hot. We've been such a deep water. But it's definitely been fish down here again. Around where I'm fishing, definitely. I mean, it's slicked up a few times where fish have been obviously feeding on my baits. But that bar area, I haven't seen no activity at all. Normally I see a bit of activity on their beds or whatever if there's fish about, but there's nothing happening with it at all. I've seen no fish actually crash out, but I heard one last night in the bar area. That's what it sounded like, where the bar was, where I was fishing, but you can't really tell at night time. It's a shame I've got to go, but there's nothing else I can do about it. With her getting old now, I'm not putting her at risk. I mean, she had a severe operation last year, she nearly died. So I'm not putting any more strain on her heart than that, what she needs. Else otherwise she'll not be with us for much longer. So I'm going to get her home tomorrow and get her rehydrated properly and that. Well, I've been rehydrating her anyway, but so I'm just going to have to see how the night pans out. It's about, I think it's about 7 o'clock, 7:15. I'll have a can of pop, and then I'm going to have a couple of cans of beer and just sit and watch the water. So unfortunately, people, it's going to be a short vlog. I'm still going to put it out though, because at the end of the day, it's just reality of how things go sometimes, isn't it, when you're fishing. So disappointed, really, gutted, but at the end of the day, her health comes first and her well-being. And at the end of the day, the breeches, they don't like hot weather anyway. They don't do very good in hot weather. She's actually calming down a little bit now. This is the calmest I've seen her all day, look. And even her stomach's still going now, look. Look. Going 10 to the dozen stuff. I mean, she's had a tea. I didn't give her a lot of tea. She's had some rice. Some rice and egg. Some eggs. So, at least she's out, so she get a bit of that energy levels back in her body. But now, I'm sorry, but my dog comes first. So what I'll do, people, is I'm going to sign off for now. And if you don't hear from me till the morning, then it means I haven't had a fish. But obviously if you hear from me, it means I've had a fish. I hope I do. I've still got that chance, but like I say, if not, I'll speak to you in the morning. So yeah, I'll sign off for now. Adios. Right, vlog time, people. It's I think it's Tuesday morning anyway. Last night the weather settled down. Managed to get a decent night's kip. I went to sleep about 10:30. Same as this one here, look. She's okay now, Sky. Sky. Oh, alright then. She's saying I'm not being... Oh, there she is. She's here now. This one's perfectly alright anyway this morning. I mean, I was going to go home this morning, but it's overcast now. It is warm, but what I've done is I've got up and I've took the overwrap off and kept that to one side in case I need to build a shelter for her over there, where it's shaded over there, if the sun does come right out again. And also I've zipped the front of the bivvy off, and I've zipped, I don't know if you can see, look, I put the full mozzie mesh in, and it's made such a difference, it's unbelievable. And also as well, I've moved the bivvy around. I had the bed across here before, and now I've moved it to the back of the bivvy, completely to the back where it's cooler. I've got loads more space at the front here for me to do whatever I want to do. Plus she can come down the front here, lay on the floor, or she's got the bed up there, but she's a lot more settled now. So, looks like we're stopping. I was going to go this morning, but because the weather seems to have cooled off, when I've made them adjustments, then I think we're going to stop. And then you'll never believe it, about, what time is it now? I bet it's about 9:30 now. About 8:30, over my right hand rod on that bar, the big un jumped out. I think it was the big un anyway. The noise it made and the splash straight over my spot on that bar there, just on that bar, straight over it. And then there was bubbles coming up, you could follow them all the way down here. It went all the way down here. There's a bloke there in the corner, went all the way down to the tree line, and it was down there. It must have been feeding because there were bubbles coming up, and then it must have turned around. I've seen bubbles back up here again, and as it was doing that, there's another one boshed out further along there, up towards where the, about 4 pegs away, about 2 pegs away from where the bar is that goes across ways, and it boshed out in the middle again. So they must be feeding, and they must be up and down that bar. I thought they would be though. I knew I was in the right area, I knew I was. And this morning I was going to flick a couple of zigs out, but I'm glad I hadn't touched the rods. I'm in two minds now whether or not to leave that rod on the bar till tonight to recast. These 2 rods here I might redo at dinner time, but that one I might leave. I don't know, I'll see yet. But it's looking promising now. At least I know they're feeding. They're definitely feeding. It seems to me like they're going along the bar and cleaning the food up. What's been put out over the weekend. That's what it seems like. But I had a feeling that they would. I know they would. With it warming up, big pits like this, deep water, they're always the same. When you get really hot days, the fish feeding them. Don't matter what species they are. Whereas you get other places, and as soon as it's shallower, as soon as it's hot like it has been, that's it, they just switch off straight away. But these sort of places are different, in my experience anyway. Whenever you fish big pits, sometimes they fish really well in the hot weather. I'm not saying all the time, but in my experience, most of the time. I had some quiche for my breakfast. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning, and I was awake till about 6, and I nodded back off again into bed till about 7. But I seen a few fish milling about this morning, and there was definitely, last night as it was getting dark, fish milling about over these spots here. But I think these fish that I've seen down here are tench that's down here. I'm 100% sure of it now, because I seen them just topping out last night. They look like tench to me. So I just hope I'm not wasting my time with them 2 rods there. I'm tempted to move another rod onto the bar, so I've got 2 on the bar here and keep 1 down there. That's what I'm tempted to do. And if I'm going to do that, I might just leave all 3 rods until tonight. Leave all 3 rods until, go on Scott, you're alright. Leave all 3 rods until later on. The trouble is I need to walk her at lunchtime, so I don't know. I'm in two minds at the minute. going to play it by ear and see what I do in a bit, but I think I should definitely move another rod onto that bar. Definitely. I don't think I'll put any more bait out on there. I'll just stick 2 rods over there, I think. I don't know, I'll see in a bit. I'm going to keep watching the water and see what happens. I just thought I'd give you a little bit of an update. God, it's made such a difference with that mozzie meshing. But it looks bang on for a bite, actually. It just feels right. I just get that feeling that somebody's going to have one. I don't know if somebody had one last night over there, because I could hear a commotion about, what time was that? 2:30, 3 o'clock this morning. And I go up to go to the toilet and he had his light on over there, and I'm sure I heard voices near him. So I don't know if he's had one last night. I'm not 100% sure. But, so, yeah, so that's what's happening. So, stopping. Unless it turns too hot for her again, then I'll just pack up. I'll have no choice in the matter, but I've done the best I can for now anyway, and got everywhere cool. I've even stripped the bed off the bed. I've took all the cover and everything, and the covers off of it. She's down to the bare sleep system, and it's a lot cooler for her. She prefers it, so. Right. I'm going to make myself another cup of coffee. Been bit to pieces by the mozzies. I must have 30-40 bites on my arms and my hands. I've got about 5 or 6 on my back. I've got 4 or 5 on each leg. About 5 or 6 on each foot. Absolutely battered by them. But there's no I can do about it. That's what you get for forgetting your mozzie cream. So, right. I'll catch up with you in a bit, people. Adios. Oh, I don't think that's picking me up there, is it? Let's have a look. That should be now picking me up, I think. Bit of an update. What I've done is I've fetched all my rods in about 12:30, rested the swim for about an hour or so, and then what I've done is gone back out onto the bar where I've put 2 rods in there instead of 1. I've spread them quite a distance apart, and they're on fluorocarbon rigs, German rig on fluorocarbon. I'll show you in a minute. So I've put 2 of them out there. I've put no more bait out there whatsoever. And then the other rod, there was a 9.5 wraps out here. I've fetched that in, changed the bait on that, and just cast that back out. I haven't put no bait over that either. And I'm just going to leave them all today till tomorrow afternoon, and then what I should do tomorrow then is probably just put a little touch more bait out and just see. I've not seen no more shows though since this morning, so I've seen 2 shows this morning, but they were definitely caught. One of them was the big one, and then there's another show down here, but I think that was a tench. I've seen no end of tench now down this end. There's loads of them down here in the margins. That's why I put no particle in at all down here. All that's gone in down here is just spotted out boilers and then a few loose boilers spread about. Anyway, I'll just quickly show you the rigs. Just hope the camera's picking me up. It should be. Right. Fluorocarbon rig. I think I've shown you before. It's about 7 inches long. You won't be able to see it because it's fluorocarbon. It's invisible. But no, it's got a loop in, figure of 8 loop in one end there, and then like I say it's about 7 inches up to the hook. And then what I've done is tied a knotless knot, and then I've cut it off. I left a little bit of a stub, and then I've got a hook bead, a hook barrel, and then a Nash, I forgot what you call it now, a Nash hook bead, and then obviously that hits that stop there, stops there, and then hits that and stops there, and then I can move that hook bead to wherever I want to, or depending on what bait I'm using. But yeah, you don't need to steam it, not with this fluorocarbon. It's the corder. But if you're tying a knot in it and then you pull it tight, once you pull it tight, it just straightens out on its own. There's no need to steam it. It's pointless, just a waste of time. I try and avoid steaming things anyway if I can. I just tend to rub them on my leg. But if I can't do them on the leg, then I will steam them, obviously. But like I say, I don't use a lot of rigs anyway. And then my normal standard rig what I use most of the time, bottom bait rig or wafter or sometimes a pop-up, is it's about 7 inches. That's ESP loaded, that is semi-stiff. Same thing again, figure of 8 loop, big loop as well. I like a big loop, so you get plenty of movement in it, plus it pushes the rig away. And I've got me got about 7 inches again. I've got a piece of putty in the middle, and then that's my cover for my quick link, which slides up and over my quick link. And then at the other end, got a size 4 wide gate, knotless knot, and then I have a liner pushed out, fox liner pushed over it, and then I have a piece of silicone on the hook parrot rig, and then obviously I can move that to wherever I want to. But that's my rig I go to. I take this rig everywhere with me, and that's what I tend to use most of the time. And then obviously I do use a KD sometimes. I either use the KD or I use the fluorocarbon rig that I've just shown you. I've gone with the fluorocarbon because of the fact I'm on the actual gravel bar, whereas first time I come here on Red Ass and I had that mirror, I had that off of the bar, I wasn't on the bar then, so I didn't use fluorocarbon. I used that Drennan loaded semi-stiff. So that's the rigs what I'm using. I've got 3-ounce leads on and all my rods. 3-ounce dumpy pairs, I tend to use them most of the time. I've got plenty of different leads. I use 2.5-ounce leads or 3-ounce flat pairs inside my bag rigs, or if I'm fishing on a marginal shelf. And then I've got distance leads. I've got 4-ounce and 5-ounce distance leads in a couple of different colours. But I also have 1-ounce and 2-ounce dumpy pairs as well, because sometimes you need them. And that's the fluorocarbon I've been using. The Corda extra soft, the IQ2. It's really good stuff, this is really good. Either that or Fox Transcarke, either of them two, you can't beat them. Both about the same price, too expensive like everything else. So yeah. Oh, my lead core leaders, if anyone wants to know, I tie my own, I don't buy them. And I use either Corda cable, or I don't normally use that. I used to use that, but then I had problems with it, but that's all I did. And then I've got the Fox 45-pound camo. Normally I have this in light camo and dark camo, And then I also use Nash as well, but they didn't have no Nash in. Normally I get one of them and one of the Nash ones. They didn't have any Nash ones in, they didn't have any more Fox ones in, so I ended up getting the Corda, which I'm not particularly keen on. I think I don't know, I just don't rate it. I've had quite a few problems with it in the past. It might have changed now, I don't know, because I haven't used any yet. I always keep a couple of these, I've always got a couple of these in, always. And then what I do in the leaders, I have so many leaders tied up all the time. I mean, for instance there I've got some lead-free leaders, Fox lead-free stuff with clips on. I've got a couple of chod rigs with quarter helicopter beads on the end. They're in the Fox camo, there's a couple of them. Then there's an inline rig on there for using inside a bag. There's always a spare one of them on there. And then on this one I've got some tied with a Nash, and then some more tied with a Fox, some in light camo, some in dark camo, and then there's another spare one to go inside a bag there. But I've got a tub anyway that for my bag stuff. I have a tub made up, and there's like 4 or 5 rigs in there all the time. Sometimes I do the bags up before I go somewhere if I think I'm going to be using them. Otherwise I just make them up as I'm going along. And inside that I have a great big tub, and inside that is a mixture of different ground baits and all different mixed pellets. I just add to it all the time. I don't put no oils in it, nothing like that. I just have it as it is. And then if I want any oil, I just inject the bag. Normally I just inject a little bit of hemp oil in there, or a little bit of the crave oil, because that crave oil what I use has got salmon oil in it anyway. It's a really good attractor, the crave attractor. So yeah, I just thought I'd tell you about that. Right, I'm going to finish my cup of coffee and then catch up with you later. I've been bit to pieces, I don't know if everyone can see it. I don't know if it's picking it up everywhere. Well, smashed to pieces item off of them. I counted 60 earlier on, 60 bites. There's about 30 on my top half, and then there's about 30 on my bottom half, mainly around my feet and my ankles. And yeah, it's ironic, I was covered up, yeah, I'm sat outside now with no top on, and yet I'm getting no bites at all. Don't make sense, does it? But it's my own fault for forgetting my cream. So, alright, I'm going to sign off for now, and I'll catch up with you in a bit, people. Fishing dog's conked out down there, look. Absolutely conked out. I can't have her stop in the bivvy because it's too hot in there, but she keeps going in there, so I've put a blanket down there and it's shaded there, and she's done her the world of good being down there. And she's getting plenty of water anyway, so at least now I know in the daytime different parts where I can put that blanket down for her and she's not going to overeat, because the bivvy about this time of day starts to get too hot inside. It's about, what time is it now? I think it's about 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Over these next few hours it gets red hot, so at least I've sussed the peg out, and I had to set everything up in here, even when it's off for the dog. Right, I'm going to finish my cup of coffee because I'm waffling on again, so I'll catch you in a bit, people. Alright. Absolutely mental. Mental storm this is. Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Feels amazing being in this fucker. Fucking balmy. Woohoo! This is one crazy motherfucker, man. Whoa! It's like fucking bonfire night, man. Powerful storm, this. Holy shit. Crazy. Just relentless. I think we've had the worst of it though. I think it's starting to pass us now. I don't even know what time it is, but oh god. When it first hit us, I thought it was going to rip the bivvy out of the ground. I had to grab hold of the rods. Grab hold of the rods so that the spod rod and the marker rod didn't go. If I hadn't kept hold of them, they'd have gone. Unbelievable. Crazy shit, man. Crazy fucking shit. Balmy. Woo. Now if this don't kick the carp in, I don't know what will. Unbelievable. Right, I'm going to switch the camera off. In case the wind ends up taking these rods. Right. Right, vlog time, people. I hope it's picking me up. It's Wednesday morning. It's about let's have a look. 20 to 10. And it is red hot this morning. But there is a break in it because it's cloudy, so you get like 15 minutes of red hot sun and then like 3/4 of an hour of cloudiness, which I'm glad of because it was really hot first thing. But that storm last night was absolutely mental. And then I've had a pick-up this morning. I had a pick-up about, what time was that? About 6:30 on my right hand rod. Alarm went off, I jumped up, and the bobbin was right at the top, but it was taking no line, and it had gone slack. So I thought something's picked it up and heading towards me. So I got up, wound down into it, there's nothing there. So I've been done. It's probably a tench. It won't surprise me because there is a hell of a lot of tench down here. I've seen carp again this morning, but they're in the top layers. And I'm still getting a few times it's slicking up over where I put these boilies at, on this left hand rod at 9.5 wraps. But I was hoping that storm kicked him up last night into a bit of a feed. But everything's safe and sound anyway. I had my breakfast this morning, some egg cobs, a piece of fruit. I'll have a yoghurt, a piece of fruit, and some fruit loaf at lunchtime, I think. Last night for tea, what did I have last night? Gammon, gammon and tomato on a big cob with some Mexican rice, followed by an apple, and then I had a tea cake for my supper. The fishing dog, she's conked out, but we're going to see if we can stand it again for another day. I mean, I've got bit a lot the first couple of days, but the bites seem to have slowed down now. I'm just not getting bit. I've just got the bites that I've already got, if you can see them. I've got quite a lot of them. But I find if you put suntan lotion on, it attracts them. Myself, if you put anything on, like Sudocreme or anything like that to soothe them, the bites, or anything along them lines, anything with like an oil in them, it seems to entice them again. So I've just left it. I didn't put anything on last night apart from just having a wipe down, and it seems like I've got bitten a lot less. So, but that right hand rod that I had to pick up on, I haven't put it back out. I've just left it out because I didn't want to disturb the swim over there again. So I've still got one rod on the bar and then another rod on that left hand spot. Like I said, I'm just having a cup of coffee. I'll let you have a quick look at the lake. You can see, that's better. But I like this peg, it's a really good peg. You've got quite a lot of options in it. I mean, you can cast 80 yards out there, 80, 90 yards, probably up to 100 yards, and you ain't really going to interfere with anybody else. That's what I like about this place, it's set out really well. The pegs where they are, I think this peg here, the one down to the left of me where I fished previously, and probably that one over there, probably three of the best pegs for being in positions where you've got loads of different bits of water. But I haven't seen any shows of carp boshing out this morning, but I've just seen them on the top, 2 or 3 of them earlier on. But there's definitely a lot of fish down here. There's been a lot of fish down here. I'm very, very surprised I haven't picked one up. I mean, I haven't put no more bait in. Camera steady. I haven't put no more bait in yesterday at all, on none of the rods, nothing at all. So it just shows you, doesn't it? And last night when we was before we had that storm, the wind was blowing in different directions and you could see patches out there where people's been baiting. And honestly, there was just masses of them everywhere. I must have counted about 30-40 spots just over to the right where people's been baiting in small amounts, little tiny bits, where it's all close together. See, I hadn't done that on the bar, I've spread it out with a particle, which is an unusual thing to do really. Most people are fishing particle, they like it in one area, don't they? I don't, I like to spread it. I like to put a few more spoms out than you would do normally, but spread it. And then I'll fish like, I've got one rig with a boilie on it, with a dumbbell on the top of it, and then I've got another rig with just a small dumbbell on. So you've got the best of both worlds. If there was more carp in it, I'd put all 3 rods on that bar, but 2's enough. But that's what I'm going to do, just carry on fishing the spots that I'm fishing. There's no point in moving, changing, swapping to anywhere else, because I'm not doing nothing wrong. It's just the fact that they're obviously not getting their heads down feeding yet. I mean, there's other people on the lake and I don't think none of them's had anything, so... but if this wind carries on, and this cloudiness, they might come on the feed because it's taking that hotness away, you know, that unbearableness. So, but I'm going to finish my cup of coffee, and then I'm going to get some work done, try and get some photographs done. I've got some photos to upload to Shutterstock, so I need to get on with that before I get my rods out. But I'm going to put some more bait out today. I'm not going to go mad. I'm going to put about 2 or 3 spots over each of them, about 6 spots, 7 spots in a row on that bar, you know, spread between the 2 rigs, over and spread between them. And then down here I'm just going to put another spot of boilers over my rig, mixed boilers, 10 millers, 15 millers, 14 millers, 3 different types of boiler on there, and then just leave it, see what's what. I can't do anything else. It's pointless trying to put a big bed of bait out. It's just not the one, I don't think. There's just not enough carp in here, I don't think. I think all you're going to do if you do that is entice big bream in. Eventually that's what will happen, all the bait will sit there. I think they probably just spook off a big piles of bait in here. I think what they do is, I think they probably just go round and they know that bait's been in the water for a while, and I think they probably just pick that up after it's been, they sense it's been in the water a few days, myself. And I think sometimes if you've got fresh bait mixed in with old bait, it can help you, but sometimes it can go against you. So it's one of them, it's the same old conundrum all the time, isn't it? But I am going to put a bit more bait out today. I just feel it's right to do it, so... Right. I shall catch you in a bit then, people. Adios.